And now, a quick message from yesterday.
So, hey, it's Tuesday night. Tonight's not our usual night here for Hammer Away, but tonight was a time when I could get together with Mr. Keith Michaels. So let me introduce him right now. Mr. Keith Michaels, drummer for Tango Down.
Hey,
how's it going, brother?
What's up, brother? This is
too much.
It's an off night, like you said, but it was necessary because I believe that after our attempt about a week ago to do the 3:30 slot show, got some technical difficulties and I've been quite busy. And we did make another day for tomorrow, I believe. But unfortunately, I'm getting together with my man Viking Stew tonight to let him know that we're going to have to wait till maybe after the trip I have coming up. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And, work is a little busy. Times are tough these days. But look, I'm all happy. You're happy. But I have a big vacation coming up. I'll be headed down to 80s in the Stand, which is an annual thing that we do every year. Me and my wife, it was our first year that we had a honeymoon out there in 2018. 5 years married on November 2nd. That's amazing. But we go there every year, and we're like a guest performer. And besides the regular bands that are there, that are big bands. I mean, Living Color was there, Philly Idol a couple years ago. But it's endless. If you wanted to find more about that, just go to 80s in the Stand, or the Sands Rock. Excuse me, sandsrock.com. And this year, I'll be playing again on stage. I do a little bit of jamming with a bunch of the musicians that are there. Up on the pool stage, whatever night that is. And I got a bunch of songs there. So not only is it a vacation, not only is it a chance to regroup with all the friends that we have made through the years there, but I also get a chance to play and jam with some successful, great musicians. I think a couple of years ago was a Corey Glover, and Jeff Adams, a great bass player, and Rick, he's in charge of the Sands band. So looking forward to seeing all those guys. That, along with everything else that's going on. We finished the show a couple of weeks ago, last Saturday, with Tango Down at Nerf in Connecticut at the Wall Street Theater. It was a great show with Firehouse, Janet Gardner, Spread Eagle, a bunch of other bands. It was a very rainy day up here in New York that time, but it was kind of tough, but we made it through. Attendance was great. It was a hell of a show. It was good to be back with my guys in Tango Down. We have some things coming up that I want to talk to you about once we get together again, Stu, and put the show together for all the people out there. Probably, I think we're looking at November 22nd, the day just before Thanksgiving, which is a Wednesday, 3:30, I believe, Eastern, the Pacific time, or one of those times out there. He'll tell you later. But he's the man to plug all that stuff. But I just want to let the people know that we're going to tune in last week. We had some technical difficulties. We were shooting for tomorrow, but conflicts and scheduling is going to make it hold us off to November 22nd, the day after Stu's birthday. And he's going to be 29. Hey. 29, I'm telling you. So he's picking up to me. But I just wanted to get on and just let everybody know who sees the Hammer Away show every week on Wednesdays that I'll be coming back on November 22nd. Can't wait to tell you guys about what's going on in my life, music career, my history, the stuff that happened with Liv Say, because I know a lot of people have been asking about that. I'd love to tell that story. And, just about music and stuff. Me and Stu love talking to each other about all the things in the music business today and things we've experienced. It's a lot of fun. So you guys tune in every Wednesday, I believe, with Hammer Away show with Viking Stew. And don't forget to check me out with Viking Stew on Wednesday, the 22nd of November. I'll see you then.
That's awesome, brother. Hey, you take care and just keep up the great work, brother. And I hope everything goes well.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon. Right, buddy? Talk to you later.
Take it easy. So, hey, what a moment. Welcome back to Hammer Away. It is Wednesday today, so thanks for being here. Thanks for chiming in on the chat. Let's take a look at who we have. We have got Nocturnal Miss So a little addition there, little Nocturnal. It's kind of getting ready for Halloween, right? We got Blake Snow is here and Crimson Cross. It's great to see you guys here. Always a pleasure. Look at this. We got plenty of music here going on. Oh, man. Better not have no problems again. Hey, how about that? I even added a video. How about that? So, hey, something new, something cool. I'm glad it all worked out so well. And a big, huge thanks to Keith Michaels for taking a minute with me yesterday. We just thought, you know what? We knew like I say, life's been crazy for me, but it's just as crazy, if not crazier, for Keith Michaels right now. So we've been chatting a little bit about work and just how it's just a busy time. Because being musicians, he's obviously recording, does more than I do. Let's face it. We're not, in the same ballpark there with all the gigs and whatnot, and out of town, out of state, these kind of things. But we both keep plenty busy. So I really, really appreciate Keith taking some time out yesterday to chat at you guys, take a little time to make a video with me to chat about what's going on and the upcoming show that we're going to do the day after my birthday, like he says, next month in November on the 22nd. So next week is going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. You ever have one of those moments where you see me kind of looking off camera? I see something flying around. Man, I hate that. The only thing worse than that is when you have a cat and you're sitting on the couch and you're watching TV and you look down and there they are looking up at you, or so you think they're looking up at you, but they're actually looking just above your head. And you're like, what are you looking at? I hate that. Sometimes I think they just do that to be smart alecky. I don't know. Maybe they see other dimensions. There's many other things that we could talk about. So in the meantime, let's move on to some things. So I'm looking forward to next month. First of all, it's my birthday, but also we get ready for a holiday. So, and it also means I'm just that much closer to the end of this half of a school year. So, yay. So anyway, moving along, we know what we've got coming up next week. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like what you're seeing, hit that like button for the video. And then if you want to know when we're doing this or what's coming up, hit that notification bell, because that'll tell you what's coming up. It'll tell you when I send it out, and you'll know what's coming up. So even though I changed this one at the last minute, see, that's the deal. It keeps you up to date with all those crazy, crappy things that I do. If things just don't work out, and that's okay. Because Keith and I worked it out. Keith was so cool about that. And we had a minute to just talk about it and go, hey, well, we'll just change the game plan here. It's not a problem. Everybody will understand. It's cool. There's so many things that keep coming up. What I do want to share with you, if you haven't followed on Facebook, you can follow on that page too. I got a Hammer Away page out there as well. But the one thing I wanted to talk about and chat about a little bit is I got a friend of mine who's kind of laid up for a little while. So I don't know if you've seen what I was doing. I think I've mentioned it here before, but what I started was a little encouragement. I love to encourage people whenever possible. So what I started doing was they're going to be out for a little bit. So I started a rock and recovery radio playlist. So every day I send my friend a song. And what I've got so far, and you can check them out. I link them to the Facebook page for Hammer Away. I started off with Delivering the Goods by Judas Priest. I heard that the other day and I was like, that would be a perfect start. Because I do believe that's the perfect start to that album, Hellbent for Leather. Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner came next. We're both Maiden fans. Then I threw in something new for him, Elegant Weapons, with a great song called Do or Die. That, speaking of Judas Priest, that is Richie Faulkner's band that he's done with some other guys. And then White Line Frankenstein, something brand new. Well, brand new. It's the latest record from Alice Cooper. So White Line Frankenstein from Road by Alice Cooper. Skies of Mongolia. If you've not heard this song, please do yourself a favor and you can check out the whole record. I love it. Some people may not love it as much as I do, but I mean, it ranks right up there with so many other great. I don't know. I don't want to get stuck in a place, but this reminds me, let's do a quick unboxing, shall we? Because this lines right up with it. Okay. So we got us a package, right? Came the other day and I've held on to it for you guys. So here we go. I may have another package to open today, but I had to get this. Oddly enough, I was talking with a gentleman about some bands to interview, and he is out of Vegas area, and he has his own company that promotion company, and then he's got some bands, so I'm going to be checking them out. Oddly enough, I was just talking about this. Don't Call It Hair Metal by Sean Kelly. Art in the excess of 80s rock. All right. So I can't wait to read this. I mentioned it on the show, and Dave heard me talking about it, and he said he was reading it currently. So Don't Call It Hair Metal. We'll find out what this is about. I'll tell you what. Let me just tell you. There isn't a day that goes by where this music doesn't come into my life. It has called me to pursue a career as a performer, songwriter, recording artist, producer, educator, and author. It has been the gateway to many different musical genres, while always remaining front and center in my heart and mind as a guiding life principle. To paraphrase the late 80s Van Halen song, it has kept me alive, electric, and inspired. Anybody know what album that's from? Anybody? It's actually the same. It's the same song title as a Pat Benatar song. It's a song called "All Fired Up," and it's from OU812. Let's see. So inspired. These words are Sammy Hagar's, but it reads like Walt Whitman to me. That's Sean Kelly, the author, says that. Don't Call It Hair Metal is a love letter to the hard rocking but often snubbed music of the decade of extremes. And while there may be no more joyous iteration in all of music than the 80s hard rock, it was also an era where the musical and cultural ideals of rebellion and freedom of the great rock and roll of the 50s craft showman, 50s, 60s, and 70s were taken to dizzying heights of neon excess. Attention to songcraft, showmanship, and musical virtuosity, especially in the realm of electric guitar, were at an all-time high, and the radio and MTV were delivering the goods. Whoa. How'd that happen? Delivering the goods. Sorry, lost myself there. We're delivering the goods en masse to the corn-fed children of America. Oh, children of the corn. And beyond. Time hasn't always been kind to artists that of that gold and platinum decade, but Don't Call It Hair Metal analyzes the sonic evolution, musical diversity, and artistic intention of 80s commercial hard rock through interviews with members of such hard rock luminaries as Twisted Sister, Def Leppard, Poison, Whitesnake, Rat, Skid Row, Quiet Riot, Guns N' Roses, Dokken, Mr. Big, and others. All right. So Sean Kelly has performed with Nelly Furtado, Lee Aaron, Alan Frew, Coney Hatch. Song by Coney Hatch I want to do in my band. Check out Coney Hatch. They're from Canada or Canada, where the Canadians are from. And they did a cover of Hey Operator. They did a version of Hey Operator, which Aldo Nova did on his first album. So check them out. Got some great stuff. There's a song that they do called Sugar, Blown Away, that I want to do. So in my band, I really want to do it. So I hope my band members are watching. They're not. Also worked with Helix, another Canadian band. Gilby Clarke, Trapper, Rough Trade, and Crash Kelly. In 2015, he performed in Twisted Sister frontman Dee Snider's Rock and Roll Christmas Tale. That's a mouthful. All right. In 2023, he will be appearing in the Toronto production of Rock of Ages. Kelly is also a music teacher with the Toronto Catholic District School Board. How about that? And unfortunately, this is a little bent. Do you see that? I don't like that. It's brand spanking new. What's the? I might have to tell them about that and get a better copy. You know, we don't pay for these things for them to be damaged, right? So anyway, I do like what my friend said though one time about, speaking of things being like orders being bad or something like that. He mentioned one time about when he gets fast food, if there's something wrong with the order, then they said, okay, well, give us a minute, we'll have it. And he just hands back the bag and he's like, no, here, you can have that. Just make us a new order because I don't want all this getting cold while I'm waiting for fries. I'm like, brilliant. Smart thinking. So what are you doing here, Blake? You're painting your room. Painting on my rooms coming very soon, and doing black and blue will be the color. Are you going to listen to black and blue while you're doing that? Ideas, always full of ideas. All right. So we did an unboxing, but you know what? I've got a couple of things here. So let's do one more, shall we? While we're here. Maybe kind of short today, but we're going to be talking about some more stuff coming up, and next week is going to be a blast. I hope everybody's ready for next week. I talked to my one of my coworkers today because I'm getting prepared, and I may have to do a dry run with you guys. Maybe that's what I'll do. Now, it won't be a dry run; it'll be a real run, and it won't be dry. But it is what it is. All right. So I think I know what this is. In the meantime, Go Game Go. The other day we had a chance to talk about the Star Trek films. And I have made my way all the way to the last one. I got all the way to Insurrection and watched that one, finished watching it last night. So Nemesis is the only one I've got left. And I don't know if you're, who's into Star Trek? Anybody out there into Star Trek? Are you guys ready for this? This is so fitting. I had to get this book. It's a book by Neil Gaiman, which I know of this author. Let's see if I can read a little bit about Neil Gaiman to know what he's done. Is an author of the New York Times bestselling The View from the Cheap Seats, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, The Graveyard Book, Coraline. Oh, he wrote Coraline. Neverwhere. Oh, Neil Gaiman. That's him right there. And he did the Sandman series. I forgot that. That's what it is. I'm like, I know who this guy is. So the Sandman series, that's right, of graphic novels, among other works. His fiction has received Newbery, Carnegie, Hugo, Nebula, World Fantasy, and Will Eisner Awards. Will Eisner, the Spirit. His novel American Gods will be a TV series airing in 2000. Well, I suppose it aired in 2017. Originally from England, he lives in the United States, where he is a professor at Bard College. So he put this book out called Norse Mythology. So I had to get that. Looks pretty cool. Well, I'll do some reading and see how it goes. I'm eager to check that out. So thanks for hanging with me. 2 books. I got lots of reading to do, right? Plenty of reading to do. What do we got going here? They do have a music-related story in issue 32 from the Image Comics era. Awesome. That's very cool. Image Comics had some cool stuff. Big Bang Comics is both an homage line of characters, but also their own thing. Cool. What do you guys think? The one thing superhero-wise, and we're going to be getting into some superhero stuff. I just heard from my buddy Patrick finally yesterday. And we're chatting back and forth. He and I, he even more so than myself, are big comic book fans, superhero fans. And he actually, I'll have to put a link in here for his channel. And I'll be putting some links out there for Tango Down as well, so you can know where to find their music. You can go to Kibble Records. I know that much. You can go to Kibble Records. You can buy stuff on Amazon. As far as like apparel or anything like that, I'll keep you in touch on that. I'll get that information from Keith and send it on to you, because that way perhaps you can purchase some things ahead of time, and let us know what you think of it when we do the show next month. So it should be pretty cool. We also talked about, let me see, what was I doing? The book. And here is the next of the vinyl. I was saying I have another vinyl confession. I thought confessions is better. Vinyl confessions, vinyl destination. I like vinyl confessions. So here's another. I think I told you about it. Of course, this is all. It's going to be Angel for a little bit. Can we just understand that? It's going to be Angel for a little bit, because I have a lot of Angel records, and I think I may have imparted the story to you last time that when um, I'll just tell you this story. I could save it for another time, but I'll tell you a little bit of it. I did some t-shirt design work years ago. Oh, and how do you like this? Here's our wardrobe for today. Ghosts of Yet to Come, Wayward Sons. I'm telling you, if you haven't checked out Wayward Sons, please do it. Wayward Sons from the UK. So good. Stuart Dilley did this artwork. He did all the artwork on the subsequent second and third albums, and on their fourth album too, Score Settled. So check that out too, because it's all brilliant. It's great stuff. So but yeah, that's our wardrobe for today's Wayward Sons. So Angel, I think I mentioned it to you. I did some t-shirt designs for a company in New Jersey. They flew me out to Vegas, and I met Frank Domino there, and anyway, we got to talking and everything. And I told him, look, I knew you were going to be here, and I didn't know which Angel record to bring, so I just brought them all. Now, I'm hoping I'll have my buddy on the show sometime. His name's Bob, and so maybe you'll get to meet Bob. Maybe you'll just hear about Bob. I don't know. I'll ask Bob. And he was a gentleman that I've mentioned this before. I think he turned me on to so much music. I don't really want to list it all, because I'd rather kind of go through it. But there are bands that are such a part of my life. Do you guys have anybody like that, that has turned you on to something so cool that now it remains one of your favorite bands, and you just owe it all to that one suggestion that somebody made, or the fact that they took you into their home, you guys hung out, they had you in their home, and you're like, you got to hear this band. You got to hear this. And that's the way Bob was. Bob, we hung out a lot. We had, there was a whole group of us. And he actually sent us a message the other day. We still keep in touch. And one of the bands he turned me on to was Angel. And this was the first record I ever heard. And it was called Hell of a Band, was the name of the album. It was their second record. And I fell in love with the artwork. I actually did a piece of artwork that had a hand just, in this same pose. And I think I put a lizard in its hand. But yeah, Hell of a Band. Now, you notice this is before they had their logo. The logo didn't show up until the third record. So they were on tour when their manager brought in the logo, and they looked at it, and they were like, and he goes, now hold it. And that's when he flipped it over. And what's that called? When you can read something right side up and then you flip it and it's the same upside down is shall we learn something today? It's an ambigram. That's what it's called, is an ambigram. I've said it enough in my life now that I think I got it locked in. Don't quote me on that completely, but there's the band. I love this. I always love the fact that they had their names really big right down here. Greg Giuffria, who is actually from he's a St. Louisan. We got Barry Brandt. There's my buddy Frank Domino, my other buddy Punky Meadows, and there is Mickey Jones. So so Mickey would then be replaced by Felix Robinson later. But yeah, I took every one of them, and Frank was quite the awesome dude, as he is still today. Just such nice guys. Punky, great guy to talk to as well. And again, I these other guys I would love to meet as well. But yeah, great record, wonderful piece of work. I will say, wonderful piece of work, not great production. There was a lot of these bands right in that time frame that that just I don't know, it just wasn't fantastic in the production. What is up, Saboteur? You were out there at the, what was it, PRGE? You know, it's funny, it's Purge, isn't it? They're kind of wild. But out there with Papa Pete, we Jeff and I were so I'm sure Jeff and I are both very jealous that, and we're so happy for you guys that you all got to get together, and that Pete got there from all the way over in New Brunswick, and came over and was able to hang out with you guys down there. And I think I started making plans to try to be out there next year for the show. And it's, what does it stand for? The Portland Retro Game Expo, right? Ooh, did I do it? Did I get that right? You can tell me, Saboteur, did I screw that up or did I get it right? So yeah, I would love to be out there. We have a friend that lives about 3 hours away from there. And there you go. Yes, met Pete and Casey, my brother Casey. So it was great. We were getting some photos and stuff like that, and a little video. It was fantastic. We had a little live video with Papa Pete. So if you don't know who Papa Pete is, you can check us out on Go Game Go. I'll be there at 7:00 tonight with my buddy Jeff. I call him Super Jeff sometimes. So hey, look at that. Good. I got a big thumbs up. I got it all right. It's starting to happen. I'm telling you. There were so many times when I first started doing this show that it's like being on a game show where you're just like, and I hate that. I am surrounded by all kinds of things that I can't wait to share with you guys. One of those is some comic book style stuff, because again, comic books joined up with music, even the video games. I get to download something. I'm learning and figuring out all that video stuff again. So I did find a video of one of my favorite games over there. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the box right over there, and how they ripped off a Toto tune. I've talked about it before, and I'm going to download the video and edit that part out so you guys can check it out. So that's that. I also want to start walking you through. And so when I grabbed that Angel record, I also grabbed, speaking of some of my favorite video games, talking about like Space Ace, Dragon's Lair, the Laserdisc age, right? So then I picked up, interesting. This is the Laserdiscs. This is my first, in the alphabetical order, the first one that I pulled out, Thunderball. So Thunderball was cool. I love these films. Sean Connery is my favorite James Bond. So a great movie. I was very fortunate. I purchased a Laserdisc player years ago from a brother, my brother, one of my two brothers, of the same mother, and it took a crap on me. So it's right about when we moved here. Well, I looked on Craigslist at the time, I think is what it was, Craigslist, and sure enough, there was a gentleman selling one for $100, and it was a Pioneer. Come to find out, it was like brand new. He still had the stabilizer screw in it, right? So I got a hold of him and hustled right over there and picked it up. So it was $100. Is in beautiful shape. He said he only used it like 10 times because he had a VHS and that at the same time. So he was kind of trying to, just have all the top gear, right? Well, then he started realizing how kind of not fragile, because laser discs really aren't fragile. They are, as far as a disc is concerned. You don't want to just screw around with them or throw them around, but they're heavy duty, right? But you do have to be careful with them. You don't want to get fingerprints all over them, blah, blah, this and that. But he said they only use it like 10 times because he would put the things on because he didn't want his kids to touch them. And so then he was like, forget it. It's easier just to do it with the videotapes. They can touch those and put them in and all that whatnot. So it was great to get that. And then I just actually found an envelope. I'll show that to you sometime. But I just found an envelope the other day that had the little sample laser disc that came with the player. It's kind of cool. I'll show you that. Now, I did also start today we're starting what I'm calling the Attic Addict. We don't all have attics that we use, right? I mean, I have one, but I don't use it because when I first started using my attic here and it heated up, I wasn't thinking about it. And I'm like, why are these boxes all waxy? Well, it's because I stored some Thanksgiving stuff up there and Christmas stuff up there. And there were some candles, Christmas candles, and they all melted. So it's one of those oops, live and learn, right? So, but when we think about our classic stuff that we have, we think of the old classic, like Home Alone. You have the nice attic upstairs where you can actually just take or pull the ladder down. I don't have one of those. I got to bring a ladder in and put it up there. So I've recently just taken everything out. I'm like, screw it. I'm not going to deal with all that. So, so this is like hypothetical attic, right? Now, back in the day, you guys, I mean, we still have things that we can get inside of a cereal box, right? You can still get things in a Cracker Jack box, but damn, it's just crap. It's just thin, whatever, tattoo, sticker. It's never like a really cool little something anymore because that would take too much space and blah, blah, blah. Then they just don't do it. So back on cereal boxes, they used to have records sometimes, and you could cut them out. I do remember they had the Monkees. I think I used to have a Monkees record, but then get a load of this. Bobby Sherman. See, look at this. You can see the dotted lines where you can cut it. Look at that. It's just from a cereal box. It's in really good shape too still. I bet I could put this on my turntable and record it. Ooh, Bobby Sherman. Bobby Sherman was he was a singer and an actor. And on this, he's got Easy Come, Easy Go, which was a big hit for him. La La La. Oh, interesting. There's a song on there called Seattle. And then Love and Spend Some Time Loving Me. Isn't that great? Spend some time loving me. I gotta see what that song talks about. I don't even remember because I haven't even played it in forever, but I still have it. Right? It's pretty cool. I do know. Oh, hello. What happened? Wow, that was trippy. I do still have one of my magazines that had Joe Satriani on the cover, and there's a Joe Satriani record page in there. They did that for a lot of guitar magazines. They would put record pages in or magazines like that. So, so pretty cool stuff. Now, I think that about does it for today. Why is my camera doing this? I keep getting this little whooshy thing. I don't know if you guys are losing me or not. Let me know. But next week, it's going to be really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, again, make sure that you subscribe if you're digging this, and we've got plenty more to talk about. Also, ask me some questions. If you guys have any questions, please feel free. I'm really looking forward to next month again. Like I say, Keith Michael's coming back, and we're going to do a whole show with Keith, and it's all going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. We had a great connection last night. It was so weird what happened a couple of weeks ago. So But he'll be back, and we'll talk about plenty of stuff. In the meantime, make yourself familiar with some Tango Down. You'll see that on one of my other shows. I talked about their albums, kind of went through them a little bit at a time. So let's see, there's that. But next week, we're going to go see Kiss. Me and my friend Danny are going to go see Kiss. But first, we're going to be here on the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We'll be doing the show right here. The two of us will be right here, and we're going to be putting on our makeup. There it goes again. It's doing that thing. Can everybody still see me when that happens? So it's going to be great. I was told, of course, Gene Simmons, I'll say it one more time. Gene Simmons was always my childhood idol. Not only did I like him because he was so dynamic and monstrous, right, and demonish with that and everything, but I knew he was into comic books. In fact, in their comic book, he's holding a comic book while he's making some statement in the beginning of the book. He's holding a rolled up comic book. And I knew that he taught English, and English was always one of my favorite subjects. So I always kind of attached myself to that, as well as the fact that he was just so ominous in his garb and makeup. And he was a bass player. I don't know. I mean, that's what's kind of weird too. Turned into a bass player at 36, and realized soon after that so many of my favorite artists and musicians were bass players. Gene Simmons, Geddy Lee, Phil Lynott, Steve Harris, for crying out loud, so all of these different things. And then once you start playing bass, it's like a car, right? It's like, I've never seen this car. I want to buy this car. I love this car. And then all of a sudden you buy it and you're like, cool, I got this car. I love this. Okay, there's one that looks just like it. Oh, there's one in the same color. Wow. Okay. Oh, there goes another one. Oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Damn. So you start realizing that you're not the only one. There's a reason you bought it, though, because it is so cool and so many people want it, right? But yeah, Danny will be here with me next week, and we'll be putting on our makeup and getting ready for the show to go down to the concert. So I was told that her dad is the guy who puts on the Gene Simmons makeup, so I can't do that. So I decided I'm going to be Eric Carr. So I trimmed my beard really short the other day, so hopefully we can do that. And then I talked to a friend today whose husband does clown work. So she said she has plenty of the makeup stuff. So I'm going to get some makeup from her either tomorrow or Monday. And if I do get it tomorrow, then perhaps I'll do a practice run with you guys and record that. So I'm glad everything worked out with the recording yesterday. Got to put it on the show today. Thank you guys for being here with me today. This is kind of weird. See, and it got rid of my background, didn't it? That's really kind of freaky. I wonder if I touched a button or something. Maybe I'll have to move my keyboard. So you guys take care. Have a great rest of the week. And I will be looking forward to next week, hanging with my buddy Danny. So, boy, there's really nothing else to say. But remember, when you walk out of your house in the morning, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So be cool. Until